Hello everyone. My name is Numan Siddique. I work in Red Hat. Welcome to another Open vSwitch conference. So in this session, I'll be talking about scale testing a Kubernetes cluster using OVN and k8s. So the goal of this presentation is to basically show how we can use OVS, OVN, and the k8s utility to do some scale testing of a Kubernetes cluster. So basically with this, you can scale test your application, or maybe you want to scale test the Kubernetes control plane or Kubernetes networking plugin. So in order to do this, we need few things, like we need few physical servers and two NICs on each physical servers, one for the management traffic and one for the external traffic, and OVS and OVN deployed on these servers, and a custom k8s utility, which we'll talk a bit more. So let's talk about what is k8s. k8s is a tool developed by the Kubernetes community, basically to deploy a simple Kubernetes cluster on a single machine. So with this tool, it creates a Docker container for a Kubernetes node. So k8s is used mainly for local testing by the developers. It's like you create a k8s cluster, you destroy it, it just comes pretty fast. So, so then networking for each of these Docker containers is provided by Linux bridges. So whatever the Docker networking, the default networking provides, and that is used here. So in order to use this k8s for scale testing, we need few things. And I did some dirty hacks on this k8s tool to add like OVS support in k8s. So with this, OVS will be providing the networking for the Kubernetes nodes. And I also modified this k8s utility to add or to join additional Kubernetes nodes to an already deployed k8s cluster. So this is how roughly it looks like. You first deploy a simple k8s cluster. It comes up within few seconds, and then you can run these additional join commands to add additional worker nodes. So with k8s, we can only deploy only on one machine. So we would like to deploy it across various machines and scale it up. So there's a tool called OVN k8s heater. So this tool is just a collection of few bash scripts and Ansible scripts. So what this tool does is it first deploys OVS and OVN on all these physical machines. It creates an OVN cluster first, and then it creates a simple k8s cluster on one central node, you could say, and after that it keeps on adding additional worker nodes, and it spawns on various other physical machines. And you can specify like how many worker nodes you want. And it distributes those worker nodes within the physical machines which you have set. And by the end of it, you would get a Kubernetes cluster, a multi-node Kubernetes cluster, and this is like ready for your testing. I would like to just show you how it looks like. So on the left side of it, I have this k8s tool. It takes a few commands like install, setup, deploy, and stuff like that. And you need to define the list of physical machines for this testing. So in my case, like I have like 48 servers defined here. So on these physical 48 servers, like I will be deploying a Kubernetes cluster. So like to save some time, I have already deployed a Kubernetes cluster, and I set around 100 nodes, I think 107 nodes on this. So once it is deployed, this particular node which I am in is like a central node. So the this heater node will first deploy OVN North-D here. So if you run, you would see the state, like how many chassis are there and stuff like that. So as I said earlier, OVN is used to provide the networking for the Kubernetes nodes, right? So we need OVN cluster here, and it creates a switch called kind, and each port represents a Kubernetes worker node. So if I do Docker PS here, like you would see, just 3 container nodes. This was the base kind cluster which was created. And if I run to kubectl and get nodes, you would see like there are around 107 nodes, out of which like 3 are the master nodes and the rest of them are the worker nodes. And yeah, this is just showing like how the networking is provided using OVS. And I will just log into another node. This is one of another physical machine here, and you can see here, so there are other Kubernetes nodes which were joined later or spawned here. So this is each one is a container, and the networking is provided here. So basically, with the help of this tool, so we have a pretty good Kubernetes cluster. And then you can, so like you have a working Kubernetes cluster now, and you can do whatever you want with it. So what I did was I created some pods using a tool called Kuberner. So it created around 11,000 pods. To run that and show you here. So as you can see here, so there are around, it just creates some simple pods. We use this kind heater, and it's still under development, like it's pretty hacky now, but we are planning to use this to do some scale testing in our labs, mainly for OVN Kubernetes. Yes, back to the presentation. So these are the links which you can look into and find these utilities and try it out yourself if you're interested. And any questions? Thank you.
So we have time for one question here. I invited Numan to join us on video and audio. So far, I haven't seen him actually do that. Numan, if you would click to accept the invitation, then we can bring you in for interaction. I know it takes a few seconds of delay for what I say to make it out to the attendees, so perhaps it'll take him a moment to respond. There we are. Numan, do you have? We didn't get any questions submitted, but do you have anything that you'd like to? Here's one. Okay. From Flavio Fernandez, we have. Numan, is the join node using something similar to what we do in OVN IC, or is join support making all the worker nodes connect as a single OVN northbound and southbound cluster?
No, I mean, we don't use OVN IC here. Like OVN IC is used to interconnect two independent OVN deployments, right? So here, the join is more like you add an additional Kubernetes worker node. So it would mean that.
Great. Thanks for the talk and all your work on